Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. Had a bit of a mind blank as I was just like I just asked Mitch, who's here,
Hi.
how to say his last name, and I was like, and I just didn't pay attention to, or I didn't think about it. So Tabian, right? Mitch Tabian.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. See, I did. Maybe I did pay attention. I got it. So I want to do another one of these interviews that is a success story because Mitch sent me an email and I've been following. So some of you if you're, I don't want to send the wrong message here, but if you're sending me emails, you're responding to like what you think are just like emails that I just send out and I read it pretty much almost emails that come in. But if you respond to those and you're leaving comments on the YouTube videos. I notice, I noticed you, I recognize Mitch so many times from his stuff and the good stuff that he sent. And when I finally saw that, I'm always looking for some of you that you comment on a lot of stuff or you're responding and active. I'm waiting for that email, the one, and Mitch sent it to me a couple weeks ago. That email that's it's your success story because you've done it, because you've applied, because I know you've been grinding. I know you've been down there with your nose to the grindstone. And so I want to bring Mitch on to talk about his success and some tips that they might have for those of you, because it's always awesome to see someone really find their groove. So Mitch, that's my intro for you as I know you as someone who's been a contributor and part of the community at Simple Programmer. How do you describe yourself?
Well, right now I'm kind of like a full-time grinder. I'm just trying to apply all the things that you say, and now I'm starting to finally see some success. And just kind of as I was just telling you earlier, I'm sure now that you've been on YouTube for maybe 2 to 4 years, you probably get a lot of these stories, like people who are, because it takes time. You got to apply the things you say, grind, and then you finally start to see success. And I don't have like a massive amount of success, but I can kind of start to see the light and I can see it really starting to work. And that's why I emailed you. I said, the things that I've been applying are finally working and I'm getting success. So,
awesome.
So yeah, I could tell you a little bit more about that if you like. So I graduated last year in April 2016, and I did physics and engineering. I didn't do any programming pretty much. I maybe took 2 Java courses. I took a Python course and an assembly programming course, which sucked. That was zero fun. I was I don't know why they even have that. I would like someone to tell me why people still program. It's just to follow the logic of that, and it's just ugh.
That's funny. I was actually, just a sidetrack. I've been playing this game. I don't play very many games, but I was playing this game. It's called what is this game called? I think I talked about this once. But I was thinking about live streaming this. It's called Human Resources or Human Resource Machine. I think it's made by Tomorrow Corporation. And what it is, Human Resource Machine. It's an assembly. It's like you're in the mailroom and you're moving these blocks from in to out, and they've simulated registers with where you put things on the tile on the floor. And so someone might not understand if they're not in a computer scientist or a programmer, but you're doing assembly programming and you're making these programs, and I love it.
It's like going from the top down, switch out that registry for another one, and kind of do these terrible loops that
They found a way to make it fun though, because you're implementing sorting algorithms and you're implementing all this stuff that'd be super simple to do in a high level programming language, but you got to use jumps and you don't have a loop. You make a loop by doing jumps and stuff. And I didn't do a whole lot of assembly programming before this, but I'm actually having kind of fun with it. And the interesting thing is it's man, you realize how hard and I'm saying this to answer your question, I think, which is I think that the reason why they still teach it is because it makes you appreciate the higher level language. You're wow, this was really freaking hard to do, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I never actually thought of that, but yeah, it really does. As soon as I took that, I was like, oh my God, I really, truly appreciate this actual kind of English. It's just far better. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so graduated in April 2016, physics. I did mechatronics engineering, so a little bit of coding, not much. And January 2016, I basically started to panic because I knew, oh my God, I'm graduating. I have no real applicable job skills. Yeah, I can do math. Yeah, I know tons of stuff about physics, and I'm good at problem solving, but like I have no real skills. Like I go up to try and get a job, and I'm basically going to be like, hey, I'm good at figuring stuff out, and I'm good at math. That's not like super employable, right?
Right.
So I basically went to YouTube, went to the internet, and I decided that I wanted to be a software developer. I realized that I liked writing code. I seemed to be pretty good at it, and just kind of naturally, because I liked it so much. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to try and be a software developer. There's tons of jobs. Seems like a good place to go. So I just started Googling stuff, how to become a software developer, like literally how to become a software developer. And that was when I ended up finding one of your videos. And I just kind of listened to what you said. You said, start building stuff. And so I decided to do Android because I had taken Java classes, and everywhere I'd read, it just seemed like Android was a good place to start. It's open source. A lot of jobs still write code in Java. Like the job I finally did get, a lot of their stuff is actually still written in Java. So Java was a good one to choose. So I just started building stuff and started teaching myself. And you said, make a YouTube channel, start teaching other people so you learn better. And also you have a record of what you've done. So you're essentially building a portfolio, right? You have a large record of what you've done. And then along the lines of that, I had to learn SQL because you need to know stuff about databases. And yeah, I eventually got a job, but it wasn't easy. Like when I first applied for jobs, maybe around February or March, I applied to probably 50 jobs and just kind of shotgun method, and just like 50 jobs. And I think I got like one phone interview, like one. It was like, that was shitty. And I realized that, okay, I'm obviously not doing this right. So I started changing my resume, and I kind of put in a little bit more of the technical skills that I had been working on, like the stuff that you told me to work on. Like, I put in, I write Android applications. I put a link to my YouTube channel, my GitHub, obviously. And I also had built one very small application and put it on the App Store. It was a quadratic equation solver, just like for like high school kids. And so I applied to 20 jobs after I changed my resume, and I ended up getting 5 interviews. So wow,
that's great. Yeah,
it was crazy. Like the difference from like just like the shotgun method, putting on like basically my university education, and then changing my resume to essentially just showing like technical skills that I had been learning on my own. And like the difference was crazy. And
so let me stop you there real quick. Just a couple of things I want to highlight, because I'm actually working on for the software developer career guide book. I was working on some bonus material. I'm working on like the job search formula. And one of the things I created a spreadsheet to track because a lot of people don't track this, right? Like the fact that you had these numbers, it's so impactful, so meaningful. Like I put together a spreadsheet where I say, okay, it's like a sales funnel, right? You could track. I applied for 50 jobs. I got 10 interviews. I got 1 offer, right? And so
wish I got 10 interviews.
What's that?
I got 10 interviews.
But you did 50 jobs. You said 1, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, there's something wrong.
There's something wrong, yeah.
To fix that part of the funnel. It's just like sales process. It's just like anything like that, right? And so and then you're able to compare the results. You change your resume. You made it more functional. You made it more like to show. You put your YouTube channel. You put all kinds of stuff on there that shows that you're actually able to build applications. And then you said you did 25 and you got 5, right? Or
20.
Oh, 20, and you got 5. So you got a 20%, a 25% hit ratio, as opposed to a 2%. That's like huge. That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing is like, but you tracked it, because a lot of people I applied for a bunch of jobs. And and they're like, I can't get a job. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We need some data. Like, we need to know, like, did you even apply for enough? I don't even know. Right. Yeah, and how effective are you? Right. Yeah. So definitely have to commend you on that. That was a great idea.
Actually, and I actually took it one step further, even like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, I just applied to a bunch of jobs just as an experiment to see. I updated my resume with all my new YouTube stuff. I had built a website by then, and just more like technical stuff, right? And I applied to 6 jobs, and I got 5 calls. So
wow.
Yeah, so like that's just crazy. Like the progression you can, and so now I know, like I get it. I get how you need to make a resume. You need
Right.
technical, you need actual, just put actual things on there. They don't care about your school. It's,
Right.
at least in the tech industry, they don't care.
No, not really. Unless your school is like is a top. If you're Carnegie Mellon, if you're Harvard, then it's impressive, right? You see, but a middle tier school, no one cares. No one cares.
Mhm.
They don't even know. They don't even know who it is, right? You know, and sometimes they might even just not like it. So,
Yeah.
but that's great. And see, now you can compare that in the future, and you can be like, okay, when I apply for a job, like if you apply for 20 jobs in the future, and you get like one interview, something's wrong, right?
Yeah, there's a problem.
You know what you should be getting,
Mhm.
and that just goes to show like that functional. And it's funny too, because like I think like you're able to see it now, like you get what an employer would be looking for.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the difference is so drastic. I mean, someone who doesn't get it could apply for, like you said, 50, 100 jobs, not get a touch, but someone who gets it almost every job they apply for. Like who would not want to hire a person who is teaching people on their YouTube channel, has a blog and website, is like is set themselves up as an authority and is confident, because now you're confident, you know you can do you know what I mean, like projecting that. Everyone wants that person on their team. Everyone does.
Yeah.
So,
and also too, like another thing that comes alongside of all those technical skills is just like drive. Like you really like a lazy person isn't going to do that. Like I did all this while I was going to school, or while I was working, I kept building these things. So what an employer is going to look at that and say, okay, this guy's going to school or going to work, and then when he goes home, he's still busting his ass. So
exactly.
like even just that alone is something.
Yeah. That's that comes clearly across, you know, in what you're doing. So yeah, congrats. That's awesome. All right, so go on. Continue.
Oh yeah. So got the 5 interviews, and a lot of them I wasn't qualified for too, right? Like I'm applying to like all kinds of jobs, like web development jobs and stuff. And I'm getting interviews, but then the interviews obviously expose me for not having really a lot of experience. But a couple of them I applied to actually IT jobs, and IT jobs I can get, right? Like you don't need a lot of technical skills. It's essentially just troubleshooting and maybe some minor database stuff, like not a lot. So that's what I ended up getting a job for. I went to work for IT for a large company in British Columbia where I live. I think they actually have like 16,000 employees. It's probably the biggest privately owned company in British Columbia. It's a food company actually, but they have an IT department, obviously, because every company has an IT department. And so I got like an entry level like help desk job, which is obviously not like an amazing job or anything. But like I came from a physics engineering background, and I'm trying to get into software IT. So I said, okay, I need experience, and I'm just going to take it. And very quickly I got promoted. I think within 3 months I was promoted to an analyst job. So like an application support analyst. Basically, I would just troubleshoot software or poke around in the database, try and look for why software was acting weird or why this error happened, look in logs and stuff like that. And it was really fun. I really liked it, and it was great. But kind of along the way, as I was working, I was continuing to develop my Android skills. Like I said, I built my website, and then I ended up getting actually a couple contract jobs, just like 2 contract jobs. One was a pretty big job, I would say anyway. It was to build an app that connected to a piece of construction equipment and could control it, and basically build a 3-dimensional job site and graph it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was all Bluetooth. So like they have these tripods, and they're called total stations, and they survey land, and there's a handheld device that works with it. But they're very expensive. They're like $5,000 for like a cheap one. So this guy wanted to build one for a phone, basically, that would connect to the device and control it. Yeah. So we built that, and everything went good. And I basically realized that, wow, like really commit to this development thing, because obviously I can make them. I've built a fully functional app for a company. And
how'd you get that job? What did they contact you through your site?
YouTube channel.
YouTube. Oh, okay. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
That's like inbound marketing for the win, right?
Yeah. And I only had like, I don't know, 400 subscribers or something at that point.
Yeah.
And I got like quite a few people asking, like not a lot, but some. And that's nothing. Like I still have nothing. I have almost 3,000, and I still consider that nothing. But now I get people asking me to make apps all the time. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I can't imagine what it's like at 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you know, just having that out there, like it's such good credibility, like that you're teaching it, like people are going to want to hire someone that they know can build an app. I mean, the biggest risk in hiring someone is always that they can't do it. And if you're teaching it on a YouTube channel, you know, they know it for sure. And that's, yeah, that's cool. That's, I mean, that just goes to show that's where, and again, like if you went out there and you went on Upwork and you went out there and you went on Craigslist or whatever, you know, that you're trying to look for jobs and trying to get people to hire you would have been so much harder. And you got to do a lot of work.
Yeah. I really
Whereas
think, yeah.
if people come to you, that's the best way. So
that's like you said, you got to do a lot of work. Like you'll get jobs, but I mean, if, you know, just for an example, if you're working 5 days a week, which you should be working more, but if you are working 5 days a week, you're probably going to spend 2 or 3 just trying to get jobs. Like you'll be talking proposals, like yeah, people want to see like well thought out exactly how that app's going to be built, every piece of it, how much it's going to cost, everything. Like it takes time.
Yeah, when people hire me for shit, like literally, I tell them you have to pay me up front. If it's $10,000, you got to pay me up front. And I don't like, I'll give you my contract, or we don't do a contract. We're like, you pay me up front, and then that's that. I don't need a contract, because, you know what I mean? Like, not that I don't ever put a contract, but you get to set the terms, as opposed to when you apply and then now they're reading over your stuff with fine print and they're going back and forth and you're wasting all this time. Whereas if they're coming for you specifically, it makes a huge difference. Like you get to set the terms, and that's huge.
I think it just comes down to wasting time. Like, because if you spend 3 days, that might be trying to get 10 jobs or something like that, and that's just pure wasted time for like almost the whole thing. So if you just focus on you and producing content and let them come to you, you can develop your skills along the way, and then set the terms. Say, okay, well, if you want me to build this app, I can build it, but it's going to be on my terms. I'm not going to waste a day or 2 building this project proposal, not getting paid for it. And it's just a waste of time.
Exactly. Yep. Awesome. So then you moved, we left off at the help desk, but then you got moved up to analyst, and then what happened from there?
Oh yeah. So so I started to get success kind of on the side, because I was working on my channel, and at this point I maybe only had like 600 subscribers. But I could see an opportunity. I think, like I for one thing, I think that the tech industry is really moving towards online education, because you truly don't need to go to university. Like I mean, you can, but I think that if you take a guy coming out of high school and he knew he wanted to be a programmer, I would tell him, I would say, go take 2 years, sit at home and take courses online. Go to YouTube. Like, it doesn't matter. Just go and really work, and don't go to school. Save yourself $50,000 of debt, and you're still going to come out a way better developer, and you're going to actually have things that are built that you can show employers.
Exactly. Yeah, and maybe even build like an app that you can make some money on. Like,
like
if
anything.
you spend that 2 years, building, like, you can have a little bit of passive income, and that'd be great as well, right? So
And so I saw an opportunity kind of in that industry. I realized that I like to teach. So I'm trying to kind of get into that online teaching space. I know there's a couple of big people in there already, like Udemy, Pluralsight, obviously. But I still think that like there's still room for little niche places. So I'm really trying to get into that industry, and because I like to teach. I like to teach more than anything, I think. And so anyway, so I decided that I was going to quit my job after I had. I really liked it, but I decided I was going to quit. And in February 17th, I saved up enough money so that I knew I could live at least a year without working, even if I made no money at all. And and so there was no kind of pressure, because that would really suck. And I just quit February 17th, and I'm uploading way more. I upload 5 videos a week at least. And I rebuilt my website. I learned how to do web development, actually. Like, I taught myself JavaScript, Ajax, Python, like Django. Just trying to learn a ton. And you can really see like the growth on my YouTube channel just from higher upload frequency. I actually have my thing open here so I can read out the stats. So like so I quit February, and that month I got 164 subscribers.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I started uploading 5 times a week. So like before I would only upload maybe like once or twice a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks, which is like nothing. Subs to the next month getting 311 subs, 430 subs, next month getting 600 subs, and now this month I'm gonna get probably 800. So
wow. Well, you're gonna get some more because I'm gonna plug your channel in a minute here.
so it's just like it's so obvious, like the growth is there if you just, and I wouldn't say that my content improved like drastically. It definitely improved, but not. I think like the key factor is frequency. Like you gotta upload a lot and all the time. And you can look at your channel too. Like a year ago, would you have like 40,000 subscribers or something?
Yeah. Yep.
And then you just started going ham and pumping out 3 videos a day or 2 videos a day or whatever, and your channel doubled in a year.
Oh yeah. I mean, the best strategy I think in life, like no one can beat the strategy. It's just like it's an unbeatable strategy, which is just be prolific as hell. Like if you're more prolific than anyone else, like you can't lose. Like it's almost, I mean, I'm being a little bit extreme, but honestly, it's such a solid. Like I've applied it so many times in my life. And it works. It just works because it works by multiple methods, right? Because either you're gonna have such a wide surface area that people are gonna discover you or find you, or that you're gonna be just out getting up to bat more than anyone else, or just with the frequency you're gonna get good. You're just gonna get damn good, right? That's like because you do something so much. Yeah, it's really a good strategy. So that's good. That's cool that you did that. Man, that's some guts though, quitting your job. Like
this is funny too. This is funny. Okay, so when I quit too, I was pretty social with everybody there, so I got to know like the developers that work there, and we'd go out for lunch and hang out and stuff like that. And like when I quit, one of the hiring like guys who hires the developers there was like, man, I was just gonna bring you in for a Java developer interview. And I was like, oh man, that's what I wanted to do, but I was like, I already made my decision. I was like, no, I'm committing. I'm committed. I'm gonna do this for at least a year and see if I can make something out of it. So, yeah. And
so what's your plan? So, okay. So a couple of questions here. I'll try not to get too personal. I mean, don't answer these if you don't want to answer them. But what's your living expenses like? Is it low? Like, did you
low,
like? I mean, you saved up a year working essentially not. I mean, not help desk, but an analyst position. So you couldn't have been making a lot of money. No. So what's your like living expenses?
It's low. I also have been in a relationship for 7 years with somebody, so we're together, and we actually just bought a place too. So I quit my job and we bought a place. It's like not something anybody should do. It was just an apartment, just a little apartment. But so our living expenses with her and I together, with like everything, like from our gym membership to our food to car insurance to mortgage, everything, we live on about $2,500 a month. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Listen up, people who are watching this. This may be the most valuable piece of advice you get. It's just that one simple thing, because look how much freedom and possibility you have because you can live on unlimited means.
Mm-hmm. So I don't feel pressured. I don't feel anything. Yeah. And she works, she's got a full-time job, and then I'm here just trying to basically make things happen. So that's a good way to do it, I think, because we're young, we have no kids, we're not married even. We have a small amount of student debt, but it's like very small and manageable. So it's good.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. So then the plan, I would imagine then, I mean, you don't need a lot to maintain your freedom, no. But you've got the YouTube. You're not going to make a lot on ads right now, but it looked like you're launching a course. That seems like the move. Like you got an email list and you're launching a course.
Yeah. So I just actually launched my first paid course. I have 2 other courses that are for free on my website. I have over 170 free videos. I have 2 courses. One's building a Reddit app. If you guys probably know the website Reddit, it takes information from Reddit. You can browse different subreddits. It basically just parses the XML and makes it in a nice format. The other app is I'm still building. It's an Instagram clone. And that's I produce 5 videos a week on that, and that's free also.
Oh, cool.
But the other one that I just launched was I called it the SQLite for Beginners course, but I wouldn't really say it's like a beginner's course. You can definitely do it if you're a beginner, but I think if you're more of an intermediate, you can still gain a lot of things from it. So it's basically the app, you build a contacts list app that's very similar to what comes standard in the Android device. And yeah, so that's my first course. It's just $11 up on my website. And yeah, so that's kind of the first stream of income that I'm really trying to work on.
Well, cool. Well, let me try and help you out a little bit here. Definitely, let's put up a link to Mitch's channel and then also to his course. So put up a link for the channel. Hopefully my editor will get this.
Point the finger up.
Point it up and get the course for $11. That seems like a good deal.
Oh yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah. There you go. See, good. That's the salesman I like, right? Like, you know, if
it's a good deal.
Fucking buy the fucking thing, right?
It's a lot. There's a lot of value there. I'm not worried or ashamed, or there's a lot of value in that course. So especially for $11.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I mean, this is you're doing it, like, you know, and so many people, they want to get to the point where you're at, and they've been a developer for 15 years, and it's like you just
quit your job.
but a lot of people do just quit their job kind of, and they're like, so they quit their 6-figure job or whatever, but they still got this big ass car payment, and they're like, and this is their plan. It's like, oh, I got this idea, man. You know how many emails I get I got this idea. I'm going to build this fantastic app, right? And I'm like, no. This is not how you do it. Like, you grind, you build your business, you build a YouTube channel or whatever it is, right? I mean, if you're going to teach, even if you're going to build an app, you grind, you build a small app, you build some small apps, and you get those out there and you start making some money, and then you build a little bit, invest a little bit more and build a bigger app. Like, you have some runway, you cut your expenses down, right? Because you're in a position, like I said, like, I mean, you don't have to sell a lot. I fully believe that in a year that you'll be able to make a couple of grand a month off of what you got going, and then you'll have your expenses covered, and then it'll just grow from there. I mean, you're not going to be living rich, obviously, but you'll be free.
Takes time.
What's that?
It just takes time. That's
exactly. Yeah. And you're on the path. I think it's cool that you can see the path now.
I can see the light. Like, I'm very committed now. Like, it'd be very difficult to kind of lead me astray at this point, I think, because I can see the numbers, I can see the people, I can see the opportunity. Maybe I'm totally wrong and I'm just gonna waste 10 years, but I very much doubt it. Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario too, like, if you think about it at this point, right? Look, what do you got going for you? Like, let's say that you said, all right, you know what? I'm done. This is crazy. I'm making like a couple $100 on stupid YouTube. Like, no one's buying my fucking course. Like, this is just like, I'm spending all this time and effort. I'm just going to get a real fucking job. If you do that, and you've got like a YouTube channel with, I mean, by that time you'll have over 10,000 subscribers, or, you know, like 10,000 subscriber YouTube channel. You got this blog, you got these courses that you've built and sold. How easy is it going to be to get like a 6-figure job as a Java developer? I mean, how easy? Like
very
that.
Easy. Yeah.
Right. Or if you just want to be a freelancer, bam, like that. So yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, you've eliminated. One of my friends, Tynan, talks about, I think Noah Kagan had just interviewed him, and he was talking about, by the way, Tynan, if you guys don't know, he was herbal in the game. But
what?
Yeah. I interviewed. I had a dinner with him in Vegas and interviewed him. I follow his blog. His blog is brilliant. If you haven't checked out, go to tynan.com and check out his blog. But Noah Kagan had interviewed him, and he basically said, like, a lot of people say, man, Tynan, you take all these risks, like you do all this kind of risky stuff, right? And he was like, no. I don't do anything risky at all. I'm so risk adverse. It just looks like it, like, because he goes and he flies all over the country. He does all kinds of stuff, right? And the thing is, he's just calculated. He's eliminated the risk so much in these risky activities. And that's the thing here, is it's like, if you've reduced your living expenses, if you've got, you know, it might seem crazy and risky to quit your job and to like think and start a YouTube channel and build your site and all that, but in honesty, there's not much risk involved, because 1, your living expenses are low, 2, you're not going into debt, and 3, even if you spent this whole year and said it's not for you, you gained so much experience. Like you've 1 year at any job, there's no way, like if you thought about it, right? Like let's say that you're at your regular job, let's say you interviewed and got that Java developer job. 1 year of experience at that job versus 1 year of experience of being an entrepreneur and creating your YouTube channel and teaching people and all the stuff that you're learning as you're building your site and all that, which is
there's other stuff too that like you don't think about, like because I started my own business, you know, I learned how to register a business because I wanted to sell courses. I learned how to make a website that can process payments. You know, I learned how to send invoices, how to receive invoices. I learned how to do Google search engine optimization. I learned how AdWords works, how AdSense works, how Facebook ads work, like all these things that you learn all along the way that you like, there's no way any regular person would have done that at a job. And so you can see like the big picture of everything now a lot better. Like I could probably go to a company and get a marketing job now because like, like you could be like, oh yeah, I understand SEO. I know AdWords, AdSense, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all that kind of stuff. You know, there's just all these like things you don't think of that you're going to learn along the way also as an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, and if you think about it too, like any startup, like if you got a development job at a startup company, right, that's got a few employees, they're gonna want you to wear multiple. I mean, and plus just being, you're always gonna be that guy that is like, you're like, oh, why is this like the CEO? Why is this guy like the CEO's golden boy? Well, because he gets the business.
Yeah.
Because he gets what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Because he understands. Because they're talking the same wavelength. It's not that, you know, you may have the coding skills, but
he's not just going to code every day. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's critical. Like, and you don't see. And the other thing too is, I think like your perspective changes, right? Like you know what, if you're going to hire someone, you know what you'd be looking for, you know it's valuable, and so you can project that. Like if you go to a job interview now, it's like, hey, I can tell you, like I could get this stuff done for you, like you know, like you've got that mentality. Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to, let me impress you with these technical skills that I have. Like that, everyone knows that doesn't mean shit. It's like, look, you want someone who's going to get the job done and going to get it done on time and it's going to figure the stuff out that he doesn't know. That's me. I'm the guy that figures this out and like does this. And that's such a valuable thing. So that's cool. I'm really happy for you, Mitch. I'm excited to see where you go.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't want to make it seem like I have all this magical success right now, but I think that I will have that success, and I think that you just gotta keep giving her and keep grinding every day, and then anybody can have it, really. So
tell me, before we wrap this up here, tell me a little bit about the grind, about what is the grind like? Because I know you've put in, I mean, again, one of the things that I want to make it clear is that like the road is hard. Like you put in a lot of work here. Like you've been working more than one job for quite some time. So what is it like?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the start it's very difficult, especially when you are working a job and then you go home and you're kind of working on your side thing. I think that is the most difficult because like a job is very draining, I find. Because usually it's not something that you really like doing. It's like something you kind of like doing and you do it to make money, and you got to drive to work too. So I hate driving. I absolutely hate driving. It just sucks the energy out of me. I find you drive an hour to work and drive an hour to home, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything. But so that, I think that's like the first big barrier is you gotta just do it. Just get home from work and don't screw around and just do something. Like sit down and just start doing something, even if it's just like the tiniest little thing. I always find that getting started is the hardest part. Like if I would just tell myself, okay, I'll just write, like, you know, I'll do it for, you know, half an hour, whatever. But then that usually turns into an hour turns into an hour and a half. And that's kind of where you want to start. But I think that once you do commit and quit your job, like it's way easier. I work way more, but it's easier because you're doing something that you're building and you're just doing what you like to do, basically. So like the first part is just shitty, I think. Yeah. And, but you just gotta start. That's the advice I would say. Just start. Half an hour, 15 minutes, anything that will usually turn into more.
And that cumulative effect, right? It's like that little by little. I remember when I was writing, I mean, I've gone through the torture of writing 2 complete books now. And when I was writing the complete software developer's career guide. Literally all I did, I mean, 6 months. Yeah, it was a long time, but every day 2 Pomodori, basically an hour worth of writing. And that's the first thing I did every morning. And I did that. And in 6 months, bam, you have a 200,000 word book, right? I mean, an 800-page book. And it just was, it's an hour a day. That's, that's it. But it adds up.
Yeah. I saw that, the trailer to your new book, by the way. That was awesome. That was like,
oh, cool. Oh, thanks.
Gave me, got me fired up. That was good.
That's cool.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. Rodrigo, my editor, he gets the credit for that. I showed him some movie trailers, some book trailers that people wanted like a lot of money to create like this company. And I was like, go for it, do it, create it. And he did it. He came through, and yeah, I was pretty happy with that result. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. All right, Mitch. Well, again, I'll plug one more time. Go check out Mitch's channel, definitely, and subscribe there. Check out his tutorials, especially if you're interested in, you're teaching mostly Android, right? Development?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I'm kind of torn right now because I'm doing Android right now because I'm trying to really niche down. But the next thing is either going to be iOS or it's going to be like Python machine learning. So I think that would be really cool. And that's kind of a booming thing right now. So
okay.
More new stuff to come too.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I wish you the best success, and thanks for sharing your success. And you guys out there, if you've got success stories, you can always, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. I can't promise I'm going to do an interview with all of you, but I love to hear your success stories, and that's awesome. And it takes time. I mean, that's the one thing, like Mitch said at the beginning of this talk, is that it takes a couple of years. It's you got to, like, anyone that's promising you these super shortcuts and stuff. Even if you got them, I don't know. I don't know if you would agree with this, but I'm sure that you've probably developed and grown as a person by doing this. You didn't just get the result, right? I mean,
yeah, patience. You develop more and more patience, I think, is the biggest thing, because it takes time.
Awesome. All right, Mitch, take care. And everyone else, I'll see you next time.
Nice talking to you.